Good. I'm good.
Good.
I'm really feeling this weather.
Oh, it's been so nice.
Okay. Halloween. When do you put your stuff up?
Oh God, I hadn't even thought about it. I did notice though when I was at the store the other day, it's everywhere.
It's been everywhere since July. Let's be
that's
real.
True.
Like it's
That's
been
true.
everywhere. Since
No,
July.
I got to get it up. I do soon.
Do you
Well,
find?
wait, what's today? September 11th.
Yes,
today.
It is September 11th. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe not yet. Maybe like October 1st.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm like that with I mean, we don't.
So you get a good 30 days in of your Halloween decor.
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right.
I still got to get that giant skeleton.
Yes,
now.
you do.
I've wanted one of those humongous giant skeletons for the last couple of years. I don't know why I haven't just done it.
I don't know why either.
I know because I have all my little skeletons.
I think since we've been in business together, you've talked about this skeleton.
I know.
I think it might be my gift to you at some point.
Oh, that's so kind.
On the November 1st, when everything goes to 50% off, you're going to get one.
They don't ever go on sale though. They get sold out every year. But they are so cool because they're so big.
Yeah. I saw one when I was in Oklahoma. I saw one at a Home Goods or a Walmart or somewhere. And I almost got, but then of course I'm like, how am I going to get this back from Oklahoma to St. Louis?
Right, exactly.
The whole thing. I didn't want him driving on top of my car,
Remy pulled up a picture of him.
Yes. Oh, there it is.
There he is. It's so dramatic. And then last year, I noticed that a lot of people in Kirkwood and Webster have these big guys. Mm-hmm. And then last year, I started noticing that they started making big dogs too,
Ooh.
and accompanying skeletons.
I would like a big dog. Well, Pottery Barn has those really cute ghosts right now, and they've got a ghost dog, and I'm like, okay, I kind of want it.
Yeah,
so I might get the ghost dog.
All the fun stuff.
Fun fall.
Well, wait, real quick. Speaking about fun stuff. You've got a big trip this weekend.
I do. Well, not a big trip. It's not big.
It's pretty cool.
You're going somewhere cool too.
Yeah, but yours is who are you?
So we're going festivaling. So my husband, for those of you who don't know, my husband is a concert producer, blah, blah, blah. And we have friends that produce Bourbon and Beyond in Louisville. So we're going out to support them and be, there on site for Bourbon and Beyond. And we're taking some non-festival people. So I'm kind of curious of how this is all going to shake out because, we know what to expect, but they don't at all. And I'm just bracing myself. It's going to be an adventure.
Who are you most excited to see?
I think Lola Young is going to be there. I think I want to see her. She's just a new up and coming, little alternative act. Yeah, I don't really.
Who's the headliners?
Oh gosh, I don't know. You're asking me terrible questions. I don't know.
I did look it up and it was pretty impressive, but I don't remember exactly who it was.
I will tell you, I go to a festival to discover. I don't really go because some act is there. I go because the whole atmosphere is just awesome and you always discover all these new acts and it's just a fun, cool. A fun weekend. Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to have some fun. How about you?
Awesome. I'm headed to Chicago for a 50th birthday party that starts at 6 p.m. tomorrow night and goes to 2 a.m. on Friday night with a Cubs game the next day and then dinner and then a club after that. So I have need to get a good night's sleep tonight so I can gear up to be able to make it all weekend.
It's going to be real for you this weekend. Yeah, I can't wait to see you Monday morning.
I might be wearing a bag over my head. I don't think
that's okay. We'll take it. Well, so just a couple of housekeeping items. Just for those of you who are tuning in, we are on Lou Information Station. Yay. LouInfo.com. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Instagram is at Co-FoundHers. We do have a text line for any of you who are listening live. Do not text us if you're not listening live. But listeners who are listening live, 314-590-3770 is our text line. And today, make the announcement.
Deal.
Make the announcement, Angela.
App.
Yes.
An app has gone live.
Yes, for the radio station.
Station.
Yeah. So we're really excited to promote that. And, you can basically have all your podcasts right there on your phone. So,
which is amazing.
So cool. So now, without further ado, let's
really
get to
exciting part. We're excited for our guest this week.
So this guest, I will tell our listeners, I'm obsessed with her because she literally has probably one of the coolest jobs ever. And she's super creative. She has a long history in her industry and so many interesting stories. And what she's doing now is really just kind of creating some humanity around brands. And we just love what she's doing. So I'm going to let Angela introduce our guest.
Well, and also, real fun fact, she is an Emmy.
Yes,
which is
not just one. Many Emmys.
Multiple Emmys.
Many Emmys.
So we are here today with Lori Dowd from StoryTrack, and we're so excited to have her. She's doing big things, has do all over the country, but based here in St. Louis. And we're just so excited to learn more about what's happening in the video world, a little bit about your story, your why, and what StoryTrack is specializing in right now, and kind of where you see the trajectory for the next upcoming years.
Well, thank you, Lisa and Angela. That's an amazing introduction. I am equally obsessed with you two because I first met you. It was at the tail end of COVID.
Yeah.
And we were doing a really big shoot, and I needed someone to do set prep, like to really sort of style the set. And I called you two, and you just over-delivered in every way. It was absolutely gorgeous. I never could have done it. And it was a complicated set because it was in the round.
Right.
We had 3 cameras going around on a dolly, and you just made every corner outstanding.
You're
so
sweet.
Thank you.
You two are awesome.
You're
Thank
so
you.
sweet.
Well,
Thanks,
I will
Lori.
say that whenever I think of you, I think of that day
Mhm.
and watching you in your element, watching the interviews happen, and just the way your brain was working and how you were moving from this to that, to this to that. And it was really cool to see how your process and what an expert you are in it is.
So
it's just amazing.
For our audience that can't visualize this, Lori is a director and producer. So imagine, if you will, a set where Lori has her headset on. She's behind a bunch of cameras. She's behind a computer screen. She is directing. She's talking in her microphone to all of her camera people. There are multiple camera people on set, plus all the talent, and she wrangles it all, and she makes it look super easy. And I know it's not easy. It's wrangling the cats.
That's the 10,000 hour rule.
Yes.
I've been doing it for a few minutes.
Yes.
Few hours. Yeah, it's good.
So tell us how you got started. I would love to. I think what's most interesting about you is that you didn't just start this business just because it was like this sounds like it would be interesting. You have this amazing long history of working with brands and media. And I would love for you to share all of that with our audience.
You know, the path is never straight, is it? It's always sort of these little jumps to these stones to sort of get where you're going. And you kind of have a direction in mind.
Right.
And I started out at University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, Go Blue, as a film video degree major. And at that time, it was a little bit of an unstructured program. So I got to take all kinds of things like anthropology and South African fiction writing. And what that did is it gave a really broad education and a curiosity. You talked about being curious about what your guests at the concert will discover.
Yes.
I love that sense of curiosity. And then I operated station in Detroit. I was a little baby producer doing a years ago today story, but it was also stories that were less interesting to me, like kind of celebrity news that was just not super engaging. So I met my husband to be in that market. And then we moved around. We had 5 moves in 5 years. And I went on to kind of do, well, I guess I worked for a corporate media company, and then I did a lot for network. So I ended up working for History Channel and Lifetime, and I did a 2-hour special for National Geographic. I mean, those kinds of projects were really interesting.
Right. And fulfilling, I would think.
And I could do them while raising kids.
Yeah.
You know, so I could go off for a period of time and then really be able to be engaged with my kids when I was home. And that was really important to me in those early years with my kids.
That's great.
So were you traveling a ton at that time then?
I did travel, and oftentimes I had an apartment in LA.
Yeah.
So I would just live there for the period of a show. For Lifetime, I did, married a princess.
Right. You did a lot of unscripted, right? Before unscripted was unscripted.
It was early unscripted.
Like it was actually unscripted.
We rolled a lot of tape.
Unlike now. Yeah. Which for those of you who don't know, like again, that process is so arduous. And when you are unscripted, the editing piece of it is so arduous. I mean, it's like, good grief. I can't even imagine.
We had a team of editors
I'm
working,
sure.
on this. But it was a great experience.
Yeah.
It really taught me a lot about how to help talent move in particular directions that you kind of needed them to go with a story.
Right.
And you constantly had to have storylines going and multiple storylines. So tracking those, knowing where that story was in time, in space, really, was a big component of that. So I also learned that I didn't really like that. I mean, it was really rough and I found myself quite spiritually bereft after that.
Why so? Explain that. Was it just it wasn't aligning with your own values or?
Yes. And I was a mom of kids.
Right.
And there were kids on the unscripted show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just was witness to things that perhaps were very challenging for me as a mom. And I won't go into it right now. But it was challenging.
Well, I think that's, and unfortunately, we don't have to go down this path, but I think that's, unfortunately, there weren't enough people like you that stood up and said, you know what, this isn't the direction it should be going. And
I'd
now
love
it's
to
just
believe that, Lisa, but I just think it's the same, only you just have to be in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
It's so sad.
That's interesting though, that your motherhood met your career, that the values you learned being a mother translated into your career from that perspective, that you could see it in a different way. Cause I wonder if you would have done the show prior to having kids, if you would have seen it the same way.
No. You are absolutely right, Angela.
Yeah. It does change your lens. It changes your lens.
It does.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was thinking about last night, I was in conversation and talking about how I ended up here. And my mom was the documentarian in our family.
Okay.
She always had a camera, either still, they still had still cameras back then.
The film.
Yes, or the 8 millimeter. And she traveled a lot with my dad. So we have this incredible film footage that I was lucky enough to transfer from her. But you also see the way that people change over time. I think that there's such value to that, and recognizing, like, looking at yourself as a kid or your family dynamics. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
That's like an education in itself, right?
We love, that's one of our favorite things, is watching. My in-laws did a lot of the same type of thing. Of course, none of it has sound. So this is the early times when there wasn't a lot of sound. And we do all the voiceover for it.
Oh my God, I love it.
It's Mystery Theater 2000 or whatever it's called. But yeah, it's probably one of my favorite things to do, is just sit and watch that with our kids, because it really does kind of, again, it's revealing a piece of your story that you forget.
Absolutely,
you forget all those little pieces and what makes you who you are.
And the story you tell yourself is sometimes different from what you actually see on film.
Yes.
It's like, wait a second.
I don't remember that. When did that happen?
That didn't seem like it went that way.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My brothers and I still have arguments about stuff. I'm like, look at the picture. There was a cat in there. I swear to God.
We have one in our family that it was a trip to Disney World, and there was a kid in the background of one of our pictures who had ketchup and mustard all over his shirt. And we talk about it all, like, not all the time, but we'll bring it up and we're like, the kid with the ketchup on his shirt. And it's just like, wonder where he is now.
Isn't it funny how those things now, and again, this goes back to what Lori's doing, it's becomes part of your memory.
Yes.
My son,
love it,
who obviously wasn't a part of some of this early stuff, but because we watch it and look at it so frequently, it's part of his memories now. And he'll be like, remember when Papa went to Hawaii and he swam and he danced the hula? And I'm like, you weren't even there, but it's part of his memory now, because he's watched it so frequently and so often that
That's cool.
it really has become part of his fabric, which is really awesome.
I love that you share that with him
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, it's special, you know, and it does help continue the stories, right? Aren't we all? Isn't that who we are innately? We pass stories on. This is how we are as a society, as a humanity. You know, we're all storytellers.
I think that comes with age, though, of learning that part of it. Like, I know for me, like, at least with the kids, like, I definitely did not take enough video when they were little.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, I just want to be in the moment. But you don't realize at that age that, like, you won't always remember it. Like, so it's like, it's great to have, it's great to have the pictures, but it's like, it's really that video that you want to have because you can see them how they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the sound also, you mentioned that.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I just love it. I loved it. I just spent one morning as a young mom filming my 18-month-old walking around the house and just doing what they're doing. And that is such a great memory for me.
Yeah. It really is. So we're all kind of directors and producers of our own film, right?
Yes.
Let's bring it all full circle.
Love it.
So you had this really kind of incredible career with, you know, media companies and all the other things, but then you kind of switched your priorities. Tell us how that all came about and why.
A long pause.
Pause. Sorry, I threw her a curveball.
No, it's good. Actually, I mean, the truth is I got sober, you know, working on shows was a lot of partying.
Yes.
It really was. We traveled a lot. We partied hard, all of that.
Well, and that industry was,
it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And the money was crazy.
Yes, it was.
So we would be in this huge edit booth. You know, they bring you lunch, they bring you breakfast, they bring you dinner. There's a jacuzzi in the lobby.
Right.
I mean, it was crazy times. Anyway, that passed.
Fun
times.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
It was, you know what? It was great.
It was
that type of life. It was fun.
To a certain point.
Yes.
And then I joined Avatar Studios, which is a really large studio here in town, as the VP of Content Development. And they really brought me on to do a lot of the development of branded content. We're talking about that and looking at content in a different way. So I'd had some long format experience. I'd had some corporate experience. And this was another way that we could create shows for audiences in different ways. And the model was really shifting at that point also. So it didn't have to just be on a network.
Right.
You could actually do a YouTube show and be really successful. There were all these micro channels popping up.
When was this? What year was this?
I think it was 2000.
Yeah.
In the 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's about, I remember that shift in my own industry. And I remember when because we were streaming, we were just starting to kind of dabble in streaming at Sony. And it was kind of a whole other, we were starting our own little micro networks all over the place, you know, Crackle and all these other like weird little network things that we were doing. So you were involved with that. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. So I was there about 7 years and I loved it. I did some PBS work and just brought it through Avatar Studios and just a great team of people. There was a large studio there. There were big edit rooms, but that model, I was in the middle of that model changing also because people were not walking in and dropping, you know, $70,000 on their corporate video anymore. They just, it was shifting.
Yeah.
Some were, but a lot were not.
Right.
They were looking at ways to do it cheaper. And of course, 2008 was the big recession.
Right.
And everything dried up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always love creating new opportunities. And so I stayed there through the recession and really had a great time developing interesting campaigns for Ford Motor Company. We did one with the Transit Connect and our great Josh Allen from Companion Bread was one of the featured people. We brought in a host from New York, which you guys do influencers a lot also. You know, this was Mario Armstrong. He was a tech, guy. He was just great on camera.
Yeah.
So it was an opportunity to look at partnerships in a different way. And I think that we're still in the middle of that transformation, aren't we?
Yes.
It's very exciting.
Well,
that's what gets me. the joy is the collaboration.
Yeah, the collaboration.
Yes.
Pairing different businesses together that are maybe like not competitors, but like businesses, or they share the same demographics. And that's what really is exciting. And it's still happening. And it's really, a lot of businesses have seen so much success from it, from just thinking outside the box to make different relationships.
Right.
You two are the best curators of events I've ever been to. I was at an event with you all that you hosted recently, and the number of people, really interesting people in one place, was fascinating to me. Who wouldn't want to be an advertiser for the Scout Guide? I'm just saying, ladies.
You're so sweet.
Plug.
You're sweet.
Oh,
You're
totally.
sweet.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the Scout Guide.
I think that and I hate to call it an endorsement deal, but it's kind of endorsing, when you start bringing in other personalities into a brand commentary or a brand narrative. How has that kind of shifted your way of thinking about brand videos? I mean, do you always go to a sort of a collaborative, or is it sometimes does the brand stand on its own? I mean, I don't know if I'm asking this the right way, but
there's
how do you determine
there's
when
always
you
a
need
customer.
That? Yeah,
there's always a customer, whether you're making a documentary or a feature film, a brand film, there's always someone who is actually writing the check.
Right.
Because film and video is expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, we can use our iPhones, but the fact is high-end content is still being done with big teams that they're just expensive.
Right.
So for me, I like the brand deals when you can align the right content with the right story.
Right.
Right. And that is the big thing. And I've seen some great stuff done here in St. Louis. My friends over at Spot did a thing for the soybean council. It was great. And I think that their Enterprise did a series. I think that there's really interesting ways to still be true to your story and also have someone fund it.
Right.
Yeah.
And documentaries are just really having a hard time right now. I mean, A24 laid off their entire doc team, I think. And so we have to be able to, for our business, and I'll shift real quickly into StoryTrack. I started StoryTrack in 2013, and I really saw that this model was continuing to change, the way that we produced content and the way we distributed it. So telling the story, but tracking and also putting it out for broad audiences. That was a really key component for me.
Right.
And so I think that there were a lot of challenges at the beginning that I did not anticipate.
Yeah.
But it also allowed me the space to do that commercial work and also save a percentage. And I don't know, I do an 80-20. So I do about 80% that's client commercial work and about 20% heart projects, nonprofits, things that I really care about or somebody on our team cares about that we can get behind and support.
Which I love. I love that. I think that that's what makes your company so special, because if anybody needs to see what they're doing, go on StoryTrack.com. The video itself is just, it's so beautifully done. And when I look at some of the nonprofits you've worked with, it's so passionate and you can feel it when you're watching the film. You're like, okay, I need to align with this philanthropy. I need to align with this charity. So you do a really good job of kind of evoking those feelings. And it makes you guys special. It's really cool.
It's such a pleasure for us. And I think that there's so much that can be done docu-style also, allowing those authentic voices.
Yeah.
That's great.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break and we'll return with Lori with more stories in just a few minutes.
information station. Streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Hey friends, we're back. We're back here with Lori Dowd of StoryTrack. She's talking a little bit about film and editing and content and all the interesting things, her amazing background. And we're kind of leading into really what her inspiration has been over the years to kind of keep her in this space. So Lori, share with us.
My inspiration. Well, I've already mentioned my mom was my inspiration.
Oh, I love that.
So we all need strong women in our lives, right? That is really important.
Yes.
And I could do one thing well. There are those people who do lots and lots and lots of things well. I had one track and I just stuck with it. And that's the other thing. You have to stick with it. We are in such a competitive field that you have to be so diligent in doing it. And I just kept hammering and hammering and hammering away. I used to joke that I had to have sharp elbows. Like, hey, I need a place at the table, boys.
Do you remember a moment when you discovered that you were a story? Because I vividly, like, I have these moments in my life that I vividly remember being an inspiration or being a reason why I do what I do. And I'll just share mine really quick. So I remember telling my mom that I see everything in pictures. And then I also told her I see everything in pictures with me telling a story about it. And this was probably when I was like 8 or 9. And, you know, not that I'm not in film anymore, but I still find myself kind of in that frame all the time, like seeing it through a picture, seeing it through a lens, telling the story about what I'm seeing and why I'm seeing it. So go. Tell me when you discovered
I was
yours.
an undergrad. I was a freshman in college and I had to make my very first film. And it was on, you know, like VHS or something, right? We were still editing reel to reel. And I did it to a Pink Floyd soundtrack, you know, and it was the first time that I'd ever gotten an A+ in my life. And I thought,
and you felt it, right?
I know how to do this because I was what you mentioned, seeing in pictures. I could see the movement that needed to happen and that would happen as we were doing it. And so for me, the producing, directing made the most sense.
I love that. That's so awesome. Okay. So what do you, in your industry, because video is, everybody thinks they can do it. Tell us a little bit about your kind of how you're talking to people about video and about the storytelling and about the curation of the video, because I think that so many of our constituents, so many of our small businesses, they're trying to do everything on a budget. We get it. You're DIYing, but why is this so important to have it done the right way? I mean, professionally. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like we're living in a time when people are not reading.
Yes.
They are consuming huge amounts of content. Whatever they want to learn, they go online to learn it. So there's that. And then the other thing is video and film can offer an opportunity to touch that person at a very deep level, you know, almost as, you know, a deep heart level, if you will. And it's the combination of the music and the actors or the actual people who are speaking. And I think that that just cannot be replaced. And yes, people are DIYing. And I oftentimes will use as a second producer cam. I call it my iPhone, right? No problem. No problem. But really, I have to have a crew as well to capture most of the action going on. You need a team. And that's what's also really great about filmmaking is it's always collaborative. I am not a solo practitioner. I only am able to do this because there are great people that I work with on a regular basis. And I feel so fortunate to have that opportunity. I look around all the time with gratitude that I'm this age. I'm still like practicing my craft. And it is a craft. I mean, yes, we can shoot on our iPhones. We can capture certain things, but really it's about bringing that content in, looking at every frame of it. So when we're editing, we're like beam, 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 frame by frame to get the right moment, to get rid of the blink or whatever it is that is really going to make that piece sing, because that is, and you know, we have licenses with the most, you know, robust music library because you have to have that music. and After Effects with graphics and things like that. It's not like we're doing anything that other people can't do. I think we have a very skilled team.
Well, I was going to say it's the expertise.
Right.
And it's also, I would say, Lori, a part of you as well. It's a very it's humanity. And it's you really being able to see and understand as a human being of what the ultimate viewer, what you're trying to accomplish to make them feel.
Well, and I'll tell you, we listened to you. We got to kind of see you in action on the project that we worked together with you. Lori listens with such a keen curiosity when she's talking to her clients. And that's one of the things that really struck me, is that you listen. You really listen. Like, even when we're talking, I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
You are really listening and thinking about what I'm saying. And it's really, not many of us are able to do that. It's not something that comes easily to most people.
Well, and I would say for most content creators, depending on what your version of content is and what content means, that a lot of people, just because they have a nice camera, doesn't mean that they're going to get that emotional pull of what you pull out of people. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I just need a video. And it's like, yeah, but like, what's behind the video? Like, what is going to make someone actually feel and associate with it? And that's what you're great at.
Well, thank you. I've interviewed a lot of people. I love talking with people, and that, you're right, you have to listen. And I often say when I'm interviewing, my brain is cut in half. One is actually actively listening, but the other part of my brain is really thinking about what they're saying, how we can take that into a place that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
And so being that active listener is really important in anything. And I find that we are listening to one another less and less.
I 100% agree. And I'm seeing it, especially with our younger, and gosh, I'm going to get hate for this, but our younger people, it's the skill of listening is not there anymore. It's just not. And I'm hopeful that it will come back, and that curiosity is still in there somewhere, and that people will start to see the value of human interaction and listening and having that conversation. I'm just not seeing it right now.
Right. It's active. Listening is actually active.
Yes.
It's a deep practice. I feel like learning how to do that and really engaging in that way is one of the most rewarding things you can do. And you actually give a gift to the other person who is being interviewed. Oh, I have to put this little thing in, you guys.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, I'll interview a man and they'll say, dang, I nailed that. 9 times out of 10, I interview a woman. She says, oh, I'm not sure. I don't think I did that so well. So to our women who are listening, tell yourself you did a great job.
Yes.
More affirmations.
Yes.
Well, that comes to an interesting topic too, that I know that is very important to you, and that's well-being as a woman and as a business owner. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you've learned along the way of how to take care of your well-being and how it impacts your life.
Well, and this goes into productivity hacks. You notice how so many people talk about productivity hacks is, I'm doing AI, I've got this, I've got that. It's all about the apps and the things that they're adding in. For me, I'll tell you what, it's the meditation practice.
Okay.
And meditation is about community, right? We can have a singular meditation practice, but really it's when we practice in community that it's really, really powerful. It's too easy to just say, oh, I don't want to do it today, right? And I just have found that has been such a huge game changer for me, is meditation saunas.
Ooh,
yes.
That sounds amazing.
We have to relax our body. Right. We are really active. Women are oftentimes managing our companies, managing our families.
Yes.
And oftentimes on boards of nonprofits or doing all kinds of things that are important to us. So we have to take care of our bodies and our minds and allow them to rest.
And have that slow down. Give yourself permission to stop for a minute. Yeah.
It's so fascinating.
It's very hard
that you say that, because it is, sometimes you get into that zone as a business owner where you're like,
yes,
I just have to get it done. I have to be more efficient. I have to cross more things off the list. And I feel good when I cross things off the list. But you get so in your head that it's really hard to get out of that and realize that maybe the best thing for me is just to stop thinking about so many things.
Absolutely. And I also think it brings joy. I mean, we learn to cultivate joy and happiness. You know, they say in the present moment. So I'll do a little shameless plug for my mindfulness community, which is Midwest Moon Sangha.
Okay.
And it's all about being mindful and aware where we are in that moment. So as I walk into the studio and sit down, I know that I am walking into the studio and sitting down. And oftentimes, let's be honest, I'm forgetting. To be mindful. And that's why I think of it as a practice. I keep coming back to it.
And I love that you are defining it as a practice, because to me, that gives me even more permission to do it. It's a practice. I love that. And I am going to take that with me. Thank you.
Come to Midwest Moon Sangha.
Well, I mean, we're definitely going to post that on our feed, because I think
this
it's
is
important.
about co-founders. I'll also tell you one of the things that I did wrong in starting StoryTrack, because they're connected.
Okay.
And that is, I'd started practicing the mindfulness meditation at the same time that I was really starting my business. And I thought, my business can be much more like my Sangha, my community. No. Someone has to be in charge. Somebody needs to make decisions. And I stumbled for a couple of years trying to have a model that just was not working. Now, there's a part of me that is still using tools of that practice in running the business. But the fact is, we have to be in charge, and we have to be comfortable with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, and we have humans around us that don't practice the same way we do and don't do those things that we do, who really kind of prevent you from having that as part of your core, but I do think, going back to what you said earlier, if it's one of your values, I do think it has a place in your business. It's just maybe it can't be the driving force of your business. You know what I'm saying?
I absolutely know. They have to be two separate things for me.
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense, though. I mean, because there is a point, I think, with business that you just got to get it done.
Yeah.
And it was all lovely to say that we're going to have a meditation break, twice a day. Reality is, sometimes you just got to get it done.
You just have to get it done. Well, and there's also, there's ways to integrate those types of practices into your work life. I mean, it's taking energy breaks during the day, just getting out and walking and smelling fresh air. But it's still not driving your business. Like, your business still has to get done. Like, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
But, Angela and I get some of our best work done when we're able to get away from the business.
Right.
And we take I think, what do we try to do it every 6 months at least? Yeah. We take a 24-hour sabbatical together, and we just are together for 24 hours. And we talk, we laugh, we have conversation about family, but we also deal with our business issues. And then we come back and run the business. But that's kind of our meditate. I mean, it's not meditation, but it's kind of our practice to infuse some of that. Take a minute, celebrate a little bit.
Yeah.
Understand that there's a lot of work to do, but take a second to kind of think about it. And what do we want to accomplish? So I don't know.
Yeah.
My personal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So what else do you do besides meditation? What are some of your other productivity hacks, life hacks? What do you I know you are a big supporter and advocate for other women and women-owned businesses.
Yes.
How do you kind of keep all of that going, and how do you feed that piece of your soul?
Well, the other huge practice for me is gratitude, and every day recognizing that we can be grateful. And again, sometimes that's not always possible when you are feeling
Sure.
right. the shit's hitting the fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you can find some little thing. Sometimes I'll be in the car with my husband. I'll say, okay, we need to do the gratitude list.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm just going to talk a little bit if it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. The St. Louis now has an energized film commission.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there are now Missouri tax credits that are allowing new kinds of production to be done here in Missouri.
Yes.
Yay.
Hooray.
And they're actually very competitive. We're absolutely in the top states with these.
That's awesome.
That's great.
And so we as a company, and Lori is, we're venturing into feature films, which is something I've
so
never done before.
Congratulations.
Oh my gosh.
And I have a great partner that I'm walking on that path with. And we have our first script called Love on the Hill, Italian
Yay.
cooking.
Oh my gosh.
Meets baseball. What's not to
Ooh.
love?
I love that.
We've got a
so
holiday film coming,
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
underway.
That's so exciting.
It is really exciting because we just were talking about gratitude and
Yes.
joy
Yes.
Yeah.
and rom-coms
Yeah.
and holiday films.
Yeah.
Those can bring me joy.
100%.
They
Yeah.
just do.
And everybody
That's
else, by the way.
right.
Right.
It's
That's
just so fun.
That is awesome.
And it's a great way to support our community
Yes.
because we're
Yeah.
training up all
Yes.
the young people. And as well as we work with a lot of people in California or
Mhm.
Chicago or wherever they're coming from, we can help everybody.
Yeah.
That whole idea of when
Yeah,
all
the
ships
rising
rise
ships
together,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Rising waters,
and we
rising
can
ships.
do this
Yeah.
together. And part of me was like, oh, Christmas Caravan, should we do that in Minneapolis for the snow?
Right, right.
I'm like, no.
No.
We have made a commitment to St. Louis, to Missouri,
Yeah.
really,
I love that
to
so
do
much.
these feature films here. So
Yeah.
very excited
That's
about that.
is
awesome.
very
It's so cool.
exciting.
What's
Oh,
your
boy.
what's your prediction of when is it going to be happening? Like when does
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
start?
Yeah.
I guess is
We're intending to start production in April of 2026.
Oh
and
my
we are
gosh.
likely to do kind of both things, films
simultaneously.
almost consecutively.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you get the crew going, and you
Yeah.
guys know when you
Yeah.
work with the same crew,
Yes.
Yeah.
you get you're like, yeah, this might make sense to
Yeah.
do them consecutively.
Well,
love
and you have
that.
economies of scale, right?
You
You'll be able to,
do.
yeah.
Yes, you
we all,
do.
as
'Cause
business
let's be
people,
honest, yes.
we all
This
know.
is not a pro bono.
No,
Yeah,
heck
yeah.
no, heck no. Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm so
yeah.
excited to
Yeah,
hear that.
I'm getting lit up about
I,
that.
I'm,
well,
yeah,
yeah.
you should be.
Yeah, and it's exciting, like from the
Yeah.
fact of I don't know enough about the film process, which I find fascinating.
Yes.
Is the behind the scenes of how it all works.
Right.
But how do you do
We'll
that?
have you out on set.
She can be an
Yeah,
intern.
girl, come
Angela
on.
will be an intern. She would love to be an intern
I'm
on
good
the
at
film.
serving coffee.
Yeah.
Um,
Stop.
we can find something better
Yeah.
for you.
Okay. But yeah, like I am so intrigued by the backside of that. Of like, once you make it,
Right.
how do you pitch it? Do you pitch
Yes.
it to other? Like, how do you get distribution? How do you know what platform it's going on?
Yes.
All of
our,
the above,
our
right?
model is definitely distribution first.
Yeah.
So we'll do foreign pre-sales first.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you just don't want to be making it on a wing and a prayer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And hoping that a studio buys it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, I remember those days of, people like hounding us. Will you please pick this up? And it's like, oh, God, I'm sorry. We just have so much budget. And
for those who don't know, Lisa did start at Sony,
Yeah,
which was
well,
such a joy for me to hear
yes,
about. It's
yes.
like, oh my gosh.
yeah, but it was definitely like, it's a struggle. Filmmaking, I think that again, what you're doing is so awesome. And the fact that you're bringing it here to St. Louis, like just gets me giddy because I'm like, we're as good as LA and Chicago and Georgia, which is, obviously another hot spot for film. It's like, we've got it here,
It's
people.
it's really exciting.
And all of our friends are going to have jobs and
Yes.
sustainable
Yes.
jobs, which is amazing. So I love that you're bringing that here.
I do think one of the main goals of the Film Commission is to really bring
Right.
up the whole production community.
Yeah.
And I've been doing production in St. Louis for a very long time. So that is really great to me.
yeah.
That's
I
great.
just love that.
Well, and you're a leader in it.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't know about that, Angela.
Well,
but I'm
yeah,
a
but you
participant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're a
Yeah.
voice, and I think it's important what you're doing. I'm so excited.
And we'll train up lots of women. Too.
Yes.
Just saying.
That'd be
Yay.
great.
Absolutely. Well, so
Okay.
we've got about 3 minutes left in
Yes.
our two
Time
two-ish,
flies when
two-ish,
you're having fun.
I know.
Ryan's
I
like,
know.
maybe not 3.
Like 240.
240.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to rapid fire.
All
yeah,
right.
we're gonna do some rapid
Okay.
fire. Go.
Sounds good. Okay. Question number 1. Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
What time do you get up?
Varies, but I like to be in meditation by 7 a.m.
There you go.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Favorite documentary of all time?
Ooh, I love the 7 Up series that came out of the UK that follows the same set of kids
Okay.
every 7 years.
Yes.
Ooh,
That's a
Very
pretty
groovy.
I gotta
awesome
check
one.
that
Yeah.
out.
Very groovy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. Dream collaborator, dead or alive, and who is it?
Oh.
Dream. Well, I love Stanley Kubrick.
Uh-huh.
I was hooked on his films as a young person, and I love him. And Francois Truffaut. Oh my God! During college, I had the black and white picture of Francois Truffaut on my room, with a cigarette. You know,
was
my
so
God.
all
cool.
the smoke going.
Uh-huh.
You probably don't even know him, but anyway, he was very cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Coffee or tea?
Coffee and
Yeah.
tea.
And tea.
Yeah.
And lots of both.
And lots of
all
both.
the time. Last one. Favorite project you've ever worked on?
That's a tough one, Angela.
Yeah.
You know, one of the most interesting projects we did recently, because I always have to talk about what's recent.
Right.
We were on a project in New York City for about 2 years, and it was a 36-story high rise right in the middle of Times Square, right at 47th and Broadway.
Mhm.
They were taking down an old hotel, raising a historic theater
Mhm.
called the Palace Theater 30 feet up into the air, while creating this gigantic stage and an entertainment platform, really. It's a
Right.
platform. And we had the great fortune of documenting that for 2 years, worked with so many amazing people on it. Our footage ended up in the PBS doc, Raising the Palace. It was just, it had talk about content and the sort of
Mhm.
the different tendrils that content
Right.
can have.
Right.
That project really epitomized it.
That's so awesome.
That's great. And that is an impressive one. We've seen
It's
bits of it.
so
Yeah,
cool.
it's very cool.
Yeah, again, go to storytrack.com and there's all sorts of video footage. And I believe that there's like you did a big blog post about it with some really impactful video.
I'm just rolling that out. But yes,
Yeah.
it will be there
Okay.
very soon.
Sorry. Shh.
Okay, real
okay.
quick before we leave.
I was just
Yeah.
going to say, favorite location.
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Come on. I
All
love
right,
Michigan.
all right.
I'm a Michigander.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry, real
Oh
quick.
no, I was just gonna say, where can we find you? How can we get in touch with you? How can businesses that are interested in your services contact you?
Oh, love that question. And just because we do feature films doesn't mean that we don't want to work with everybody
Mhm.
who has a great story to tell. And so we're at StoryTrack, StoryTrack.com. And I'm Lori Dowd.
Awesome.
All right, Lori, thank you so much for joining us this week and sharing all your stories and your intelligence and all the things. And we'll see you all, St. Louis, next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, listen to me. I'm one of the credit cards in your wallet.